My father majored in architecture at Cornell University, and in 1933, when he came home from Cornell, that was in the depths of the Depression in this country. And my father, Brook Stevens, at that time realized that it would be very difficult to make a living in that profession because there were no buildings being built for the most part. It was very, very depressed. So my father's father, my grandfather, he had obviously, it was his thought that through helping companies improve the looks of their products, that might stimulate sales and stimulate the economy. And my grandfather was vice president of engineering for Cutler Hammer at that time. And at that time, Cutler Hammer was looking for a new logo and a new product identity. So there was actually a contest between a number of different agencies and submitted concepts for that new logo design. And my grandfather submitted my father's logo anonymously, and that was the one they chose. So that immediately launched a relationship with Cutler Hammer, and from then on he designed many products for Cutler Hammer, including motor controls and some of the products similar to what Allen Bradley makes today. When my grandfather died, the story goes, Fred Look, who was then president of Allen Bradley, called my father and asked him to come down and try to do the same thing for Allen Bradley that he had done for Cutler Hammer. In other words, revitalize their products.
He was contacted by Fred Look, and actually it might have been someone besides Fred, but eventually he did talk to Fred about redesigning the logo. They had decided that the logo was needed to be upgraded, and that was his first job with the company.
The original logo was done in a matter of almost somewhat of a script, and it was, I guess, by today's terms you would call it was embellished. And when it was first redesigned, it was cleaned up, simplified, make it to look more modern.
And after that, it was I think it was a Series K starter. The picture frame was his idea.
An aluminum, brushed aluminum, if you will, a frame with a charcoal gray background in the middle, and that's where the logo was placed. And then the push buttons generally for the enclosures were placed within the bottom part of that picture frame, if you will. So it integrated the major elements of the product together, the logo, the push buttons, and in an enhanced manner, in sort of one package.
And that was standardized for the entire line of starters, which made it look like a family appearance. And that was his recommendation. And basically that was the start of many product designs that he did with the company.
Allen Bradley even promoted the fact that my father, Brook Stevens, designed their products within their advertising literature.
The original products were designed by engineers, and they were functional, they were black. I mean, there was nothing appealing about them really, and why should they be? They felt that they were being used in industry, and so who cares what they look like? But he was more of an artist and a designer, industrial designer, so he modernized the look, gave it more, better color. It was gray, but still it was less morbid, you might say, than the other colors. And it brought the products and the image of the company into the modern era.
I personally came into the business in 1978, and Allen Bradley then was one of my major accounts. So I've been working with Allen Bradley for about 25 years. And personally I was involved with probably 300 different products, and it's astounding to me to think of that. It's because at any one time we're usually working on a half a dozen or more products. So it's not for all different divisions and all different areas, so it's not where you just design one at a time. What we try to accomplish is a problem solving. Not just from the standpoint of making the product look more aesthetic, but really make it look more functional, or make it actually be more functional from a human interaction from a human factor standpoint. If it involves control panels, make the product more intuitive. Ideally, a well-designed product does not require an instruction manual, that it's so intuitive in terms of the interaction and how it's function that one can understand it and work with the product. So it's a matter of function, also making it more cost-effective to manufacture, easier to service and maintain. All aspects that will ultimately improve the sale of the product, because it becomes then more appealing from not just an aesthetic standpoint, but from an actual functional standpoint. There have been a lot of innovations and unique solutions to products. For example, when we started becoming more and more involved in plastics for the enclosures of products, then we were able to also realize some cost benefits, manufacturing benefits. The problem with the traditional metal enclosures that are painted, they tend to scratch, they're heavy, and one of the biggest problems we had is Allen Bradley might ship a new product to a customer and it arrives damaged in some way or scratched. Well, then the entire product has to be returned. With the advent of plastic enclosures, not only are you able to get a better appearance because you're able to mold in features and details that really give it a much more significant and unique and impressive appearance, but it's much more resistant to damage. So there are tremendous cost benefits as well as aesthetic benefits. Allen Bradley, especially since its reputation is based on quality, in fact to the point where the word quality is within the logo, it's important that every product and virtually everything Allen Bradley does conveys that image of quality. So the products that we design we try to build in a level of sophistication, and we try to make the aesthetics of the product reflect the true advanced technology that the product embodies. Of course, the Allen Bradley logo has been updated possibly a half a dozen times, and several times, while I was with the firm, which is always interesting, and it's a major impact because it involves everything from not only how it appears on the product, but literature, advertising, trade shows. It's a significant event at a company.